Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's just a shade past 3 o'clock. I'm Chief Meteorologist Tom Brannon, joining you from the THV 11 studios for a severe weather alert this afternoon. We've had thunderstorms billowing up across central Arkansas, and those storms have the potential today to produce some straight line wind damage. Lots of energy in the atmosphere this afternoon. Severe thunderstorm warning has been issued now for Pulaski, Lone Oak, Faulkner, and Saline counties, and that does cover the THV 11 viewing area downtown Little Rock. That's why I'm on this afternoon. It's covering up the metro area. And we can expect wind gusts in excess of 50 to 60 miles per hour. National Weather Service in North Little Rock is already beginning to experience some of those outflow winds from that complex of storms. So if you're joining us this afternoon on THV 11 Plus, the reason is because of this severe thunderstorm warning, which the storms were forecast today with a boundary. There's a weak front in Arkansas. There'll be another frontal boundary that will come through Wednesday and then another later in the weekend that will help to correct our temperatures. But until that time, you got a lot of energy out there. Temperatures around 100 degrees. In Little Rock, it was 100 this last hour, 2 o'clock, so another 100-degree day. All of that energy's got to go someplace. What goes up must come down. And you can go ahead and take radar full, Chris, if you don't mind, and I'll walk you through what's going on here. And we'll talk about what's going to turn off this speaker for just a moment. Excuse me. There we go. The areas in that yellow shaded box, that does include Jacksonville, that does include Little Rock and Sherwood. Cabot, you're also within this box. Alexander, East End, England, over in Lone Oak County. You can take it full if you don't mind, and I will take us on a little radar journey because I do want to pinpoint where these other storms are located across the region this afternoon. And they are moving north to south out ahead of a weak boundary. This is boundary driven. There has been an area in southwest Arkansas that has also been impacted by some severe thunderstorms. And again, the main concern this afternoon is going to be some straight line wind damage. There's a thin band that's moving through Prairie County, northern Lone Oak, Pulaski County. That is an outflow boundary, and generally along outflow boundaries, a little ahead or even behind, you will have thunderstorms develop. I'm going to take us on a little bit of a tour outside real quick and show you what's going on here over Little Rock as we look toward the northwest of the capital city. That is that storm getting ready to push in. We're the very beginning stages of the afternoon rush hour. And if you have plans on traveling from Little Rock to Conway, then you're going to be impacted by these storms. Again, it's a severe thunderstorm warning for Lone Oak, for Lone Oak, Pulaski, Faulkner, and Saline counties. Again, this is kind of the beginnings of the thunderstorms as they develop this afternoon in the given heat and humidity that we have across the region. Not expecting anything widespread, so to speak, but any of these storms that pop up will have the potential for some very strong wind gusts, possibly a little bit of hail. And they're going to be very efficient rainmakers as well. You'll pick up a good inch and a half, possibly more, as these storms continue to evolve. And it kind of looks like they're getting stuck up around the Mayflower area, western Pulaski County, and lots of lightning with these storms. So you know they're generating quite a bit of fuss up toward the north of the Little Rock area. Again, that yellow box is a severe thunderstorm warning. It is for downtown Little Rock proper, Sherwood, Jacksonville, up to Cabot, Ward. You might be in that, but there are storms over Ward right now. These storms are moving from south to north very slowly. They will contain some strong winds and the potential for some very heavy rainfall. This is expected to last through the evening hours. We'll lose the heat of the day. And then once again tomorrow, with our boundary moving through Arkansas, we will see yet another round of thunderstorms. There's a good idea. It's been a while. It has been a good while since we've had a good coverage of rain and thunder. This might help with some of the burn bans that we have out there, especially over the river valley as these storms come together. They seem to be generating over the same areas, and whenever they do that, they don't move very quickly from north to south or from east to west. They just kind of develop over, train over the same areas, and could produce some very heavy amounts of rain. We also have the weather impact alert this afternoon for the heat. There's a lot of heat out there. I'll come back to radar here in just a moment. But once again, just want to show you what's going on in case you're wondering what's going on with the weather and you happen to catch us on THV 11 Plus. There is a severe thunderstorm warning for Pulaski County and downtown Little Rock. That also includes Jacksonville, Cabot over in Lone Oak County. And this warning will stay with us until 3:45 this afternoon. There's the impact alert. It's for temperatures of 100 or better. We've already reached that number here in Little Rock this afternoon. And now it looks as if we'll get some rain to help cool us off. And today is kind of the last day of the extreme heat. Tomorrow we still have a heat advisory in effect for a good part of central and southern Arkansas. That's going to be from noon to 8 Wednesday, with not as hot, temperature still in the mid-90s, but the heat index values will come down a notch or two for your day Wednesday. Outside, Little Rock 101. That was the high yesterday. That has been the peak today. Notice where temperatures have dropped off. That's rain-cooled air, 75 Clinton, but it's 102 in Camden, 103 Texarkana. You know, they made it to 106 yesterday in Russellville. Today, they may have made it to 100 before the thunderstorms develop. There's your current heat index. Some dangerous heat out there and a lot of energy that is built up in the atmosphere. Coming up today at 4 o'clock, we will also talk about any kind of issues we have on the roadways. If you're joining us on our digital platform, THV11 Plus, we'll have more on the weather this afternoon and this evening. And right now, we're not reporting any crashes, but there will be some areas where traffic will be impacted, especially right there between, let's say, Conway, traveling 40 westbound. Traffic may be slow because of some water on the roadways there. Again, taking you back to radar this afternoon. Here it's 3:08. I'm going to keep an eye on things from the National Weather Service, who posted this severe thunderstorm warning not long ago. Another strong thunderstorm is going to impact Polk County. That's in western and southwestern Arkansas. The winds associated with the storms today are going to be fairly strong as these thunderstorms collapse, and then they'll regenerate once again. Again, 4 o'clock for today's, the newscast we have for you at 4 o'clock. It'll be myself and Faith. Brooke is off today, but we're going to keep it right here. Just kind of walk you through. This is what's going on out over northern Pulaski County, the Little Rock area. These storms are now just south of Conway and Valonia, and they continue to come together. The sky is darkening to our north. You're going to get a good gust of wind with these storms as they move from north to south. Again, updating Faulkner, Lone Oak, Pulaski, Saline counties under the severe thunderstorm warning until 3:45 this afternoon. Really from Ward and Cabot along 57 or I-67 or 167 to down to Jacksonville and Sherwood. Not quite getting any rain yet, but you're going to get a good gust of wind. That outflow boundary is now lining up pretty much parallel with Highway 10. 430, it's south of Highway 10 now, so it's in western Little Rock. You're going to get a good gust of wind out of this, and then right behind it, you're going to get some heavy rainfall and some downburst winds from these thunderstorms as they move from the north to the south. And they're not moving quickly, they're moving pretty slowly, as a matter of fact. Just to give you kind of another shot of what's happening, Fulton and Sharp counties with a strong thunderstorm in northern Arkansas. Hey, we need the rain. It's a good thing. Well, it's been a while since we've had widespread thunderstorm activity. The percentages were about 30%. There's a new warning that just came down. I mean, just as I'm speaking here, that was out over Perry, western Pulaski, and Saline County for that storm that has quickly come together. That just now came down. Let's see if it's got a timing on it. There it is for Faulkner, Perry, Pulaski, and Saline. That's going to affect Ferndale area out in western Pulaski County, northern Saline County, and around the Lake Maumelle area. That storm is on the western side of Lake Maumelle. Severe thunderstorm warning till 4 o'clock for Saline, Perry, Faulkner, and Pulaski County. Not a tornado threat. Let me reiterate that. There is not a tornado threat. This will be a very strong wind threat with the winds aloft. Within the thunderstorm. When the thunderstorm matures, all of the energy that helps to build these thunderstorms, when it reaches maturity and begins to go through its weakening phase, all of those winds will come down to the surface and may cause some damage. There might be some power outages with these winds this afternoon, and possibly some tree damage, possibly some damage to your roofs on your homes, and some downed trees, and of course some tree limbs. The strongest thunderstorm activity is in central Arkansas with a pair of severe thunderstorm warnings, 3:45 for one, 4 o'clock for the other. Now over into Yell County, western Perry, Yell County, southern Polk, there's another intense thunderstorm, not yet warned. We do have a risk, it's a low-end marginal risk today of severe weather. as a boundary moves into the state and interacts with all of the given ingredients. Once again, thank you for joining us this afternoon. I thought we'd pop on here just to give you a quick radar update of what's going on. Since rush hour is really going to be coming together in the next 45 minutes or so, we're going to have to deal with these strong thunderstorms during the afternoon and evening rush. We already have a weather impact alert that is in effect through 8 o'clock tonight for the heat, but you're also going to have to deal with these thunderstorms as they continue to develop this afternoon and move from north to south, So those of you that are in Cabot, if you're in Jacksonville, if you're North Little Rock, Sherwood, over to Perryville, these thunderstorms are going to produce some very heavy rain and some strong wind gusts of about 40 to 50. There's that feature, once again, that little outflow boundary that is now into the downtown Little Rock area. It is going to produce some strong winds away from the thunderstorms. That's kind of a result when these thunderstorms begin to mature and go through their phase. That downward push of wind out away from the thunderstorm, that cool rush of wind is what you're seeing. It's outlined by a boundary. We call them outflow boundaries, like a mini cool front. Occasionally, out ahead of the boundary or even a little behind it, you will have thunderstorms develop. And that's what we have going on here this afternoon. These storms are maintaining their strength, and they're going to produce quite a bit of heavy rain. And that's why we're here. I-40, I-430, now we're beginning to see the strong storm right over I-40. If you have plans on traveling up to Conway this afternoon and you're joining us right now on our digital platform, THV 11 Plus, just want to warn you, you might want to give it a little extra time with that severe thunderstorm warning here in Pulaski County. Faith Woodard's going to join me in about 45 minutes. I'm going to keep this through 3:20. Get ready for the 4 o'clock show. Nathan Scott's back in today. He was off yesterday. He'll be along at 6:30 tonight. And we'll more than likely have an active radar to contend with between 4 and 6:30. And anytime we get a warning, hey Faith, I got another one. I'll have her pitch it back over to me real quick. It'll be one of those situations where it will be fairly fluid today. I'm saying that so that our directors will also know. Roger's up there getting ready for 4 o'clock this afternoon. And Chris is also helping us out with getting us on our THV 11 platform. You can see the storms. Taking a little tour here. Got the severe thunderstorm warnings in central Arkansas. More strong storms up toward Newton County, Johnson, Franklin counties, and over into northeast Arkansas, Izard County, Stone, Sharp. There's a severe thunderstorm warning in Missouri. Let's see. That's all. There's no other warnings except for the cluster we have here in central Arkansas, and just issued moments ago was a new warning for western Pulaski, Perry, Faulkner, Saline, and there's also severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing in western and southwestern Arkansas for that cluster of storms right there. That is for Howard and Sevier counties till 4 o'clock. So we do have some active weather, got an active radar. That will be the case for the rest of the afternoon. Let's get you up to date once again on what's happening outside. I'm going to take this and I'm going to turn on the camera outside. So bear with me so we can watch this storm in the outflow boundary as it gets closer to the downtown Little Rock area. You will notice the sky's getting dark where you are. Not a tornado threat, but a strong wind threat. A lot of heavy rain with these thunderstorms. My goodness, come on, computer. Pick up the pace. Computer getting a little slow on me this afternoon. Skies are darkening here in the THV 11 in the garden as we speak, and you can see that thunderstorm is approaching. Let me turn it just a little bit further here to the north. The outflow boundary is moving through the Little Rock area. There it is. You can see the low clouds blowing from north to south, and there is the low hanging area of the thunderstorm that it could be producing some strong wind gusts. That's what it looks like outside right now, downtown Little Rock, as we look just to our north, as thunderstorms are bringing some much needed rain, but will also bring a lot of lightning and some very strong wind gusts. There are your cluster of warnings this afternoon. Just wanted to make sure you were aware, and you see the little thin green band, that is your outflow boundary moving through downtown Little Rock right now. As a matter of fact, I'm going to open up the weather garden gate or the door and take a look outside real quick. And the wind is picking up outside here in the garden. You can hear the thunder off in the distance. That is our 1 hour radar loop on what it looks like right now in downtown Little Rock. For those of you that are getting ready to hit the road, rush hour traffic begins shortly. You're going to have to contend with strong thunderstorms, weather impact alert for the heat. And just to top it off, we've got these strong thunderstorms in central Arkansas over downtown Little Rock. It's right now at the 40-430 split, I-40. Thin band is the outflow boundary, and along and ahead of that outflow boundary is where we'll find more thunderstorms that will develop this afternoon. 317, the first warning is in effect until 345. That does include downtown Little Rock, Faulkner, Lone Oak, Saline counties, and there's the other part of this warning, and I have a feeling the Weather Service is going to fire off a warning in Yell County. That thunderstorm continues to get a little bit stronger up toward Danville, Ola, Dardanelle. So we're keeping an eye on that one. I think that warning is going to come out here in the next few. Strong thunderstorm continues to impact Yell County and Perry County. That's that storm there that's coming together. Pretty impressive sight outside right now with these thunderstorms. Forecast today, and unfortunately they're happening during one of the worst times of the day when folks are getting out of work and when kids are getting let out of school. Y'all might want to hold them for just a little while until these storms pass this afternoon. Again, thank you for watching THV 11 Plus. I am Tom Brannon. Faith Woodard and I will be along at 4 o'clock with the weather update for you on what's happening on the outside for our new show that debuted yesterday. So we'll be in at 4, and I'll go through the radar once again for those of you wanting to know how things are going outside. Strong thunderstorms in Yell County, Perry County, western Pulaski, and an intense cell that's just now to the north of Sherwood. And I hope that those thunderstorms develop and brought me a little rain out of my house. I haven't had rain in a long time. Hope you get some rain out of this without too much harm, without down power lines or trees. You're looking at a 1 hour radar loop of that area of thunderstorms now south of 40, south of Russellville and Atkins, through Perryville, into the Little Rock area, extending back up toward Cabot along Highway 167 or I-57, however you want to put it. That's why I'm on this afternoon. Just wanted to give you an idea of what's happening and how long this stuff's going to last. And these storms may weaken and then may refire this afternoon. Straight line winds, let me do this real quick. Let me go to the wind live radar. Let's take you to winds and see if we can pick up some of those stronger wind gusts that could be occurring. And where you see the blue, there could be where this blue area is north of the National Weather Service. Could have some very strong wind gusts there, and that would put between 40 and 60 miles per hour. Another area around 40 miles per hour that would be occurring over toward Lake Maumelle. So the National Weather Service is getting hit pretty hard with that severe thunderstorm in northern Pulaski County. This is our velocity range. It also kind of helps to indicate where the strongest winds are with these thunderstorms this afternoon. And I can hear the wind picking up outside. In fact, the camera on top of the building, Simmons Bank building, it's getting pretty strong out there here in Little Rock. The outflow boundaries moving through. Let me turn off the lightning. You can get a pretty good idea. The brighter reds indicate the heavy rain. Could have some hail, but more likely some very heavy rain in those storms in the northern part of the county, just north of Little Rock. Also some heavy rain out in western Pulaski County. But when you turn on the lightning product, you can see that the strongest storms continue to maintain right here over downtown Little Rock. 320 this morning is until 345. Oh, why not just stay with it, right? That's what we're here for, to make sure you have what you need to know before you head home this afternoon. Tom Brannon with you. You're watching THV 11 Plus as we track a cluster of severe thunderstorms moving through Pulaski and Lone Oak, Perry and Saline counties. The warning still in effect. There is also another warning that is in effect that's been pulsing up and down this afternoon. Sevier County, Howard counties in southwest Arkansas. But the main action right now is central Arkansas. We need the rain. Thunderstorms are great, but we also don't want power outages that may come along with this afternoon's weather. But I'm going to do real quick, and I'll have to check and see if there's a producer up in the booth, but if anybody can hear me in the THV 11 studios, if somebody could look and see if we have any power outages, I would be so appreciative of that, or appreciative, I appreciate it. All right. You can hear the wind howling outside, along with that boundary moving through. Again, the main concern is going to be straight line winds, downburst winds, microburst, 50, 60 plus mile per hour winds in these thunderstorms. As they collapse, it comes down to the surface, and this is what you get. You might have a little damage out there. You can hear it howling. Oh, dare I open the weather garden door to see what's going on? Why not? Yeah, the strong winds. Woo! Lots of dust blowing around out there as well. You're watching THV 11 Plus. We've got the afternoon show, the 4 o'clock show coming up in roughly 40 minutes or so. These severe thunderstorm warnings in effect till 3:45, the other till 4 o'clock this afternoon. I heard somebody getting ready to pipe in. Hopefully it's a producer to tell me how much power outages we have. Chris, I lost you. Yeah, pop it up for me so I can see it. I just see radar right now. Okay, there you go. So those are the current outages around Arkansas that we have, and I'm going to take a little closer step to the screen. Here we go. 24,000 folks without power. Looks like Perry County's hit pretty hard, as well as down around Clark County. So the wind is going to be a concern with these thunderstorms. All right, we can go back to radar now, Chris, if you don't mind. Just wanted to share that with you this afternoon. Some summer thunderstorm activity. Got a frontal boundary, and the way things are going to work out for us in these next few days is it'll be a couple of fronts. We've got one coming through tomorrow that will provide us with yet another chance of thunderstorms, and then another front will come through this weekend that will help to reinforce the dry air that we're expecting. In between, when you've got temperatures in the upper 90s and low 100s, you've got plenty of fuel, you've got plenty of moisture out there, and when you have these boundaries interacting with all of that, then you're going to have thunderstorms. And this afternoon, this is what we have over central Arkansas. Possibility of some strong microburst type of winds up toward the National Weather Service. And again, I'm going to show you the live winds with this. And yeah, they got some very strong wind gusts up North Little Rock National Weather Service. And boy, you're going to get a pretty good wind gust here shortly if you already haven't. Sherwood, if you live over toward Jacksonville and Gravel Ridge, it's possible that you get some strong winds out of this. We're not normally when we show you the velocity, we're talking about couplets. In this regard, we're talking about collapsing thunderstorms that could produce 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts this afternoon. So a severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for those winds, and that does cover up Pulaski County, Lonoke County, Saline and Perry counties. That's what we're looking at. That's that cluster of storms there in central Arkansas. That's our velocity mode. And again, this is what it looks like, live action thunderstorms here in central Arkansas. All right, let me check something real quick here. Power outages, 21,000 folks without power. Thank you very much. And a severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 3:45. And I would imagine we'll have a couple of more this afternoon that will impact your travel, impact your drive home. As you can see, that the interstate system is going to have to deal with some heavy rain. This is especially up toward 430 and 40 going over the Arkansas River. There's a big flow of traffic about this time of day that generally develops with folks heading out of town from Little Rock up to Conway. Also, thunderstorms occurring out west near Pinnacle Mountain State Park. And I certainly hope I'm getting a little bit of rain at my house out of these storms. I would hope so. And I hope you are as well. It doesn't look like it yet. That's just great. Severe thunderstorm warning for Pulaski County, Saline County, for Faulkner County and Perry counties. This was expected today to have a few strong storms, and the wind is our main concern, primary threat. All right, so that's what the National Weather Service has on their plate this afternoon, keeping an eye on things just to the north of us, and that's what we're doing for you here on THV 11 Plus, a new severe thunderstorm warning north of Fort Smith that was just issued. That's from the Weather Service over in Tulsa. That's for Crawford County. You've got part of Oklahoma involved in that as well. So Scott Covert's probably a little busy up in northwest Arkansas. So Lonoke County, you still have the warning. Cabot, got a little cell popping up near you, but the main action is what's going on just to the west of Jacksonville, over Sherwood. The National Weather Service, which is just west of Sherwood, North Little Rock area. I'm looking at our camera shot. Here's what it looks like outside right now. And you can kind of see the rain shaft with this. Some strong winds. That could be where we are finding the stronger wind gusts within this cell. Let me lift it up just a little bit here for you. There you go. Yeah, it's if you look, you can see where the water, the shaft, rain shaft in this thunderstorm's coming down and spreading out. That's where you're going to find a pretty good downburst. I'm going to see how it matches up. Keep looking outside there. I'm going to see how this matches up with. Yeah, that's matching up nicely with Storm Track 11. And let me change. I just want to show you real quick. That bright blue area, that Storm Track 11, that's what we're looking at. That's what we were looking at just a moment ago, right there. So that's where the strongest winds are with this thunderstorm. And you can see the lightning. It's yet to make it into downtown Little Rock, but there's a pretty good gust of wind there. I would imagine we're looking at winds, it says in the neighborhood of around 50 miles per hour that are coming down from that thunderstorm. So that thunderstorm may be collapsing a bit. Certainly will reemerge. Let's go back. There we go. So that's what it looks like. That's over in North Little Rock, watching that thunderstorm that is headed into the North Little Rock and then eventually across the river into downtown Little Rock. Go backwards. Go the other way, Tom. Watching THV 11 Plus this afternoon. Thank you very much as we kind of cover a little weather. Weather going to be making headlines all over the place, from the extreme heat to these thunderstorms that are moving closer to downtown Little Rock and will impact your drive home. The strongest thunderstorms right now are in northern Pulaski County near the National Weather Service along 40, the 430 area. If you're traveling 40 this afternoon, going to head home toward the Conway, Mayflower region, then you're going to run into some strong thunderstorms. So that's where I'm on this afternoon, just kind of walk you through what's going on here on this Tuesday afternoon. Hey, the good news is we're getting some rain. The bad news, we're going to have to deal with a little bout of some nasty weather. It's been a while since we've had some strong to severe thunderstorms. You just got to kind of keep everything in front of us. All right, you can come back to me if you want, Chris. Last check, we had 20,000 folks without power, 21,000 folks without power. There's some sirens outside. But that is a formidable thunderstorm now over the western part of Little Rock. The strongest winds are right here that are just now beginning to pass over I-40. So traffic is going to be impacted in that region. Let me go and pull up. I want to pull up our crash tracker, which will also show us the flow of traffic that could be impacted in that region. It's a little early. We're on the front end of rush hour this afternoon. Here it's 3:30. A lot of folks get out of work about this time, and you know, schools are back in session and they're letting out just in time in Central Arkansas for the possibility of having to deal with thunderstorms and strong winds. Let's see the crash. There you go. Okay. This helps paint the picture of what's going on outside. This is our crash tracker, live traffic. Here you have I-40, you've got 430, and the strong winds are right over the Amboy area. I would imagine that traffic has slowed to a near stop to allow for this thunderstorm to move to the south, getting some heavy rain and some wind right here. Let me take a look at the general speed of these folks that are moving over there. This is I-40 westbound toward Conway. It has slowed to 16 miles per hour. Westbound is traveling to the north. Highway 10, traffic may be slowing up just a bit there as well. All right, we go back to radar, get an update here. Severe thunderstorm warnings remain in effect. Let me go through them with you real quick. 3:45, another 15 minutes for Pulaski, Saline, and Lonoke counties, although the strongest part of this thunderstorm is right over where 40 and 430 intersect the Arkansas River area. That is traveling between, let's say, West Little Rock and up toward Mayflower. Another strong thunderstorm, doesn't look nearly as strong as is over the Perryville area. This warning is in effect until 4 o'clock. But this is the one that really has the strongest thunderstorm, just in time for the afternoon rush to get underway. Lots of lightning, yeah, very strong thunderstorm. Yeah, it seems like it's just stopped in place there. It's slowly moving to the south, but it has really just kind of stopped just across the river in North Little Rock with that rain shaft and some heavy winds from that storm. If you're watching us, once again, we still have about 28 minutes before we have THV 11 at 4 o'clock. We'll bring Faith in. We'll do our newscast, and I'll update on the weather and the traffic, and I'm sure we'll have plenty to update. Chris, do you have an updated map that you can share with me of the power outages? Okay, thank you, sir. Who is up in the booth with you? Other than Mr. Roger? Just Roger? Okay. And I know Roger's trying to get the brand new 4 o'clock, and here we are, day 2, and poor Roger, he's working his tail off trying to get that taken care of, and also helping out Chris, and Chris is helping him out. But we've got thunderstorms, and since we haven't really had to deal with them in quite a while, it's better just to go ahead and stay on for a little while and pinpoint who's being impacted and affected. Severe thunderstorm warning till 3:45 for the cell that is moving through downtown Little Rock. Another severe thunderstorm warning out toward Perryville. That storm has weakened quite a bit. But this one, it's just across the river, is probably causing some big traffic issues. All right, if you want to share that, that'd be great. What I'm going to do is pull up our iDrive page and take a look at what's going on out over in the western part of the county, western Little Rock. Get those cameras up. There you go. We have, I can't quite tell, but I know that we had over 21,000 folks without power. There's the north interchange. Let's see. This is Highway 10. Oh, yeah, there we go. I'm going to pull this up real quick. Give me just a moment. I've got all kinds of things that I can do to show you what's going on. Thank you for keeping that up for just a moment, Chris. Working several different components here this afternoon. It's 3:34. Got a severe thunderstorm warning in Pulaski County. Just in time for the evening rush, afternoon and evening rush, I should say. And traffic looks like it's going to be a problem. Let's go ahead and you can come back to Max 1. I've got the camera up, Highway 10. This is what it looks like right now. We'll take you on a little camera journey here, showing you who else is impacted, but you can see the very heavy rain. That's at Highway 10 and 430 out in West Little Rock. So the strongest part of that thunderstorm is there. All right, let me pull up another camera for us here. Give me just a moment. There's traffic. This is up toward Maumelle White Oak Crossing. There's going to be some ponding on the roadways. Traffic is slowing down, and I don't get it. When it's dry, people mess up, but when it's wet, it really gets awful. But you can see the traffic slowing down. That's the traffic going toward Maumelle White Oak Crossing, or west of White Oak Crossing. And just a little farther to the north, this is the Morgan exit. Again, getting a good dousing of rain there. And I'm going to take you back to radar and see if we got an update. Yeah. There you go. That's a good look right there. Severe thunderstorm warning. The thin green line that you see pushing forward, that is the outflow boundary. And out ahead of that outflow boundary this afternoon, there could be some development in northern parts of Jefferson County, northern Saline. We'll keep an eye on that. The strongest storm right now is over Pulaski County, western Pulaski County, near the 430 split, I-630 and 430. And that extends down to west of Alexander, riding along I-30. So we're going to have some issues near the Bryant area, heading down to Benton. Severe thunderstorm warning for Bryant, for Benton. And you can see that thunderstorm is edging to the south. Elsewhere across Arkansas, this is what radar looks like. The action's in central Arkansas, but there have been thunderstorms developing through the afternoon. It was expected today. If anything, it's knocking the heat down, but unfortunately, it's also causing some power outages and will cause a few issues on the roadways for folks trying to get home this afternoon in the evening rush. All right. Severe thunderstorm looks like one of those warnings has been allowed to expire. We still have the one till 3:45, and at 3:45 I'm going to turn this off and get ready for 4 o'clock so that our directors can be ready for the 4 o'clock show. Faith Woodard will join me and I'll get us fresh and updated on the weather conditions that we have outside. It is 3:37, it's almost 3:38. Any severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 3:45 for Faulkner, Lone Oak, Pulaski, and Saline counties. Another very strong thunderstorm that is kind of stuck in western Perry County, bordering Yale County near Casa. That could be producing some very heavy rain as well as some strong wind gusts. Hey, we're all about the rain. We could use the rain. Got lots of burn bans in effect around the state. We just don't want to have to deal with power outages. Severe thunderstorm warning for eastern Perry, Faulkner, northern Saline, and western Pulaski has been canceled. I showed you that. 50-knot winds headed across downtown Little Rock near the big airport near Adams Field. That was the outflow boundary. That's the area of outflow. Thunderstorm winds rushing away from the thunderstorm, getting pushed out in advance, and that's what you've got. Those are the winds. Airport's right over here. Those winds just passed through the Little Rock Airport near 440 not long ago. It was at 3:32. I would imagine the National Weather Service, Dennis is saying they're probably suspending airport operations for right now until this thunderstorm complex gets on out of the way. But it's over. A good part of Little Rock, downtown Little Rock, extending near Jacksonville, Sherwood, Gravel Ridge. Marche getting some heavy rain right now, and this extends out toward the eastern end of Lake Maumelle, West Little Rock, and down around Benton and Bryant. You're getting some strong thunderstorms. And you can see the thin band. That is the outflow region moving through. Just here is a courtesy this afternoon ahead of our 4 o'clock news on THV 11 Plus. While you look at radar, let me find a couple of other spots that may be impacted by the traffic. Okay, yeah, this is a good one. This is Rodney Parham. Heavy thunderstorm with strong winds. That's Rodney Parham exit from 430, and you can see the traffic has stopped pretty much it's northbound, so that's heading toward Conway. Traffic on the other side of the freeway not really impacted that much, but that's what's going on outside in West Little Rock. That's 630 or 430 near Rodney Parham as you're pulling off of 630 to get to 430. So the interstates are going to be slowing down because of the rain. I would imagine there's going to be an accident or two. You have to really slow down. When water is ponding on the roadways, your big trucks and SUVs and four-wheel drives, it's kind of like driving on the snow. It's an equalizer. When you have an inch of water on the roads from ponding, your car is not going to have great traction and it could hit the car next to you. So y'all just be careful out there. Speaking of that, for those of you that have Life 360, an app that you can keep up with your kids, let me see what my kid is doing right now. Okay, good. She's not doing anything. That's what I like to hear. She's stuck at school. Good for her. All right, let me go back and find another camera shot. We'll find out how things are going. This is Rodney Parham, where the traffic on the right-hand side is heading south near the Rodney Parham exit at 430. Traffic on the other side is 430 headed toward the Highway 10 area. the exit at Highway 10. And that is the worst of the traffic right now. We'll see what's happening in North Little Rock. Here's another good vantage point. Looks like the rain has let up. That's I-40 in North Little Rock, headed toward Conway. So the traffic is thickening up there. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect till 3:45. We've got 4 more minutes on this warning that does impact Pulaski County. That is impacting eastern, I should say northeastern and eastern Saline County, western Lonoke County. This strong thunderstorm is going to produce some very strong winds and some heavy rain in a very short amount of time. Thank you for streaming with us this afternoon. I don't have a way to answer any questions for you, but let me just say this. In the couple of minutes we have left, a little drink of water. In the couple of minutes we have left, we will be impacted this afternoon by thunderstorms. They're going to develop and kind of rain themselves out over the same areas. There will be wind gusts in excess of 40 to 50 plus miles per hour. Heavy rain will cause ponding on the roadways. And of course, there could be some downburst winds from these thunderstorms that could cause some damage out there to your roofs, to your power. We've had 20,000+ folks now without power around central Arkansas and really around Arkansas. So that's what we have, along with the extreme heat today. And that extreme heat has really fed into these thunderstorms. That's another vantage point. You're looking at radar. There's still some strong storms up toward Perry County. The outflow boundary has now made it into Lonoke, and Lonoke County has moved through the airport region. That's where you're going to find some of the stronger wind gusts. And now strong thunderstorm, pretty prevalent, covering up a lot of Little Rock, North Little Rock, towards Sherwood, Jacksonville, down to Alexander. We've yet to have any rain in downtown Little Rock here at the TV station, here at THV 11. It's all been just to our north and to our west. 343, approaching 344, again at 345. I'll wait. They may extend this. If they do, we'll still go, we'll come back at 4 o'clock and I'll update you on the weather, but just wanted to get you through this warning this afternoon, since we do have traffic and we got schools letting out here in Little Rock and downtown Little Rock and central Arkansas. Faith Woodard will join me at 4 o'clock, or I'll join her. We'll join each other. Brooke Buckner has the day off today and tomorrow. We'll update you on weather, the news of the day, some fun stuff. So, and if you're new to this is a great opportunity to tell you more about our 4 to 5 o'clock hour. We have a new program, a new show. It's a news show from 4 to 5 on THV 11 Plus. That's every day, Monday through Friday. And then you can turn over to THV 11 News at 5. Rolly Hoyt steps in and joins us and helps update us on what's happening in the world of news as well. It is 3:44, getting close to 3:45. And the National Weather Service did just issue a special weather statement for these thunderstorms. They may let that thunderstorm expire. We'll know here in about 8 seconds if they're going to let this expire. And 1 second, and there it goes. All right. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to our regular programming. We will see you at 4 o'clock with an update. We'll run radar. We'll take a look outside and try to get you home safely. Thank you for hanging out with me this afternoon. We'll see you here in about 15 minutes.